Hey besties, welcome back to another video. My name is Amber Sharia if you are new here, and if you can tell by the title of today's video, I will be doing a beginner friendly makeup routine. I'm getting ready to go out and I just thought, why not pull out the camera? I am by no means a professional, but I want my makeup to give. I just left my makeup artist chair and I've been practicing my makeup, you know, investing in my products and stuff. So I thought, what better way to document my progress than to record for YouTube, upload this video. And if you guys have any tips or tricks or things that have worked well for you, any product recommendations, leave them down below, because like I said, I want my makeup to look flawless, like I just walked out of the chair. So that is what we're going to be doing today. We will be following this young lady's TikTok. I will try to leave her name down below, or I'll have it up on the screen. But yeah, we're going to do a step-by-step tutorial. It is currently 7:16 and I would love for my makeup to be done before 8 o'clock. I went ahead and did my brows and my lash extensions off camera. So we're going to get straight into the video. And if something like this interests you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so we can continue to grow our channel. Okay, so let's get some better lighting. For the first step, she went in and primed her face, and she made the point to say to prime her face twice. So for my primer, I will be using the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. And I'm going to go ahead and apply this to my face, let it dry for a few seconds, and then we're going to reapply it. Okay, we'll let that dry for like 30 seconds and then we'll go back in and add another coat. Okay, my primer is applied, and just look at this. Like, this is key. So this is a step that I was not doing. I was only putting the primer on my face once, so I can definitely tell a difference. Next, she says to go in with her foundation, and for my foundation today, I'll be using the Maybelline New York. This is the Lumi Matte Foundation, and I am in the shade, what is my shade? 30H. And to apply my makeup, I will be using this dense foundation brush, and she says to just go and kind of go in like a stifling type motion. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to put that all over my face. Okay, so next she goes in with the highlighting concealer, and for my concealer, I'll be using the Born This Way in the shade Warm Sand, and she highlights here, here, here. She highlights on the side, right here, a little bit here, and then she takes it down the bridge of her nose, and then she goes from the top a little bit. Okay, then we're taking a little lighter concealer, and this is in the Tarte Tan Deep Sand, and I don't know if this is really that much lighter. Let me know what you think down below. But then she just goes and kind of, see, that kind of looks the same to me, and she kind of just puts it on top of where the other concealer is, and then she kind of takes it and connects that piece. And then this is what it looks like. Next, we're going to be contouring, and for my contour, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation stick, and I actually don't know what shade this is in, And so she contours her forehead, and then she carves out her cheek. Contouring up here. Then she goes and she makes another line up here, carves out down below. So now we're going to blend everything out, and in the tutorial she talks about using 2 different brushes to blend out the concealer and the contour. So I'm going to use this to blend out my concealer, and then I'm going to go in with this to build out. Then I'm going to go in with this to blend out my contour. And that's what it looks like when it's all blended out. And I think that looks pretty good if I say so myself. I definitely feel like I had way more concealer on this side than I had on this side. So I'll try to just take some over here. She also looked like she had some contour on the outer V of her eyes. So I'm just going to take this stick again, and this is a Real Techniques brush, and this is the Deluxe Crease brush. And then I'm just going to put it in like the triangle part of my eye. And then now we're going to go through and we're going to blend all of the contour out of our face using this Real Technique brush, and this is a contour brush. Finally using a brush for what it's meant for. And then you just want to blend the contour all together. I'm a little nervous, but y'all, my face is actually looking really good. I'm not a contour girly by any means, just because I feel like they say you're supposed to brush the contour up, and that's definitely not what I'm doing. And we'll blend it together. And then also, like I said, I am wearing a hat today, so I'm not going to focus so much heavily on my forehead. So if it looks a little discolored, doesn't really match my face, it's for a purpose, because I am wearing a hat. And I don't really like for all of my makeup to smudge on my hat. And then we're going to go in and I'm going to try my best to blend out the contour that I put on my nose. But like I said, this is my least favorite part just because I'm not that good at it yet. And then using this brush that I used to blend out my concealer, she went ahead and she added some of that leftover concealer to her eyelids. We won't be doing a eyeshadow look today because this is beginner friendly. And as a beginner, I don't wear eyeshadow. So we're just going to take some of that excess, nothing crazy, and we just put it on our eyelids. Now that we're done with the majority of the liquid makeup, I'm going to go in and set my face with this One Size setting spray. So I love this setting spray, but this is a more affordable dupe. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 3-second setting mist, but for the purpose of this video, this is what we'll be using today. And girlies, if you don't have to hold your breath while you're using this, I'm jealous of you because even 5 seconds after, I feel like I'm going to choke. Then she uses a powder. She uses a pressed powder and goes into all the places that she applied that highlighting concealer. And for my pressed powder, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me, and this is in the shade 330. And so we're going to take our angled powder brush, which is so good for getting in the creases. We're going to dab the excess off, look up, and apply our pressed powder before we apply our loose powder. And then you just see how it snatches the face versus this side. It just puts everything together. And like I said, we're going to go in and add this powder to every place that we added concealer. And for this, I think it's recommended if you get a shade that is closer to your skin tone. Won't put too much up there. And then I will add a little bit to my eyelids, but that part is not necessary. And this is what the face is looking like so far. Then she goes in with the loose setting powder, and I'll be using the Laura Mercier Translucent Medium Deep. And she uses a powder brush, and I'll be using this same brush that I use to blend out my contour, I'm pretty sure. And I am almost out of powder, but this is not my highlighting powder. So we're just going to go in, dab the excess off, and we're going to put it everywhere that we put that pressed powder. Not a lash falling off in the middle of the video. Okay, and that's what it looks like with our loose powder. Next, she goes in with 2 different bronzers and basically puts the bronzer everywhere that she applies her contour. I do not have 2 different bronzers just because, like I said, this is beginner friendly, and I just feel like that's a more advanced step. So for my bronzer, I'll be using the NARS Laguna in the shade 8, and this is what it looks like. It's really cute, but it is a little dark. I'm not really sure if it's my shade. And we'll be using this contour brush from Royal and Langnickel. And like I said, I'm just going to place my contour everywhere that I pretty much placed. I'm going to place my bronzer everywhere that I pretty much placed my contour. We also did the bridge of our nose, and we did our upper lip. And this is what it looks like when we add our bronzer. So this step is not necessary, but I am going in with an even brighter setting powder, and this is in the shade Veal, and it is the Hourglass powder, just because I want under my eyes to be a little bit brighter because I didn't go as bright with my concealer. And I got this in the travel size just because that's another hack. Buy your things in the travel size if you're not sure that you'll like them. You can always return things, but I like to make sure that I'm using something before I go. Girl, it's a whole lash on here. But I actually do use this, so I'm like, okay, I can go ahead and buy the full size. The key is to making sure that you're looking up, just so that we're not setting any creases under our eyes, or at least that's what the girlies say. And I already feel like you can tell a difference. Next, she goes in and puts blush on the apple of her cheeks, and my all-time favorite blush is this Juvia's Place palette, and this is volume 4. Mine is falling apart because I use it so much. And then I'll be taking this Real Technique blush brush that I really like. I'm going to be taking this hot pink color, and honestly, a lot goes a long way. And we're just going to smile and add our blush. I honestly feel like there can never be too much blush, because blush is one of the first things that leaves your face. Now that is a lot of blush. So next we're going to go back in with our skin tone setting, loose setting powder, and we're going to carve out the bottom of our face where we applied our contour. Now that we applied all of our powder, we're going to go back in with our setting spray and we're going to set our face again. Next, we're going to follow up with our favorite brown lip liner, and this is the Juvia's Place liner in the shade Chocolate. And I think at this point, Juvia's Place should just sponsor me, because this lip liner, 10 out of 10. When it goes on sale, I try to grab like 8 of them because it's so good. Okay, so off camera, I went ahead and added some black eyeliner, and I also added some lengthening mascara. And I do have a little bit of mascara that is under my eye, but I like to let that dry and then use a brush to just flake it off. That's a little hack. So now that I've lined my lips, I'm gonna go in with a pretty light pink lipstick, and this is Midtown, and this is Makeup by Mario, and I absolutely love this lipstick. So this is what my lips are looking like, but I don't know if I'm really feeling it. So I may come back and I may change the color of my lips. But we're going to go in one more time because it's so humid outside in South Carolina, and we're going to be walking around outside, and we're going to set our face. All right, babe, so this is the final product. I ended up keeping this lip. I just added my hat, and we just have a slick bun ponytail. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you were able to take some tips and tricks. And like I said, don't forget to comment down below and let me know anything that I could have done better, any other recommendations that you have for techniques or products, because like I said, I want this to be a digital journey, a digital diary of my progression with my makeup skills. But I will say, for like my first attempt using this technique, I think my makeup came out pretty flawless. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, babes.